Hi, I'm Camilla Richter, co-creator of the Digital Transformation Roadmap, a series designed to equip CXOs for their self-directed DX journey. With me today is Rob Maeyaert, Director of Project Portfolio and Change Management at Victorified. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Camilla.
Good to have you on today. In Chapter 7 of our DX Roadmap series, we get a sneak peek into a steering committee meeting for Project Pulsar, which is a digital transformation initiative or DX initiative designed to modernize a manufacturing company's forecasting, production, and delivery solution. Now, unfortunately, for the project manager, Jared, in our story, there are some pretty major misalignments between some of the stakeholders that he has to address in this chapter. Before we dive into the characters and stuff in the chapter, can you talk a little bit about the role of a project charter in not only outlining the project details, but also in aligning stakeholders around the larger picture of the DX initiative?
Absolutely. So when we are preparing for a digital transformation initiative, the project charter is such a critical document that we are looking to put together, as it really outlines all of the critical information around what and why and how we are trying to accomplish what we are through that transformational effort. And a lot of different leaders, different stakeholders may come in with preconceived notions on how they believe things will be moving forward, or maybe they think that they're generally on the same page. The project charter is really what we use to really hammer out all of those differences and truly make sure that we're on the same page in terms of what we're trying to accomplish for project success and business success, how we're going to measure that success, who's going to be part of chartering that project and overseeing its effort and managing things as we move forward, as well as outlining some of the tentative milestones and key deliverables that we'll be looking to drive throughout that implementation.
Mm-hmm. And so you've written actually an article recently about project charter creation and stuff. And I've heard you mention before that the project charter is really like it's not only like um, an outline of the project and stuff, but it is a dynamic document that keeps evolving as the project evolves and like more of a almost like an agreement between the leadership and everything. Is that right? Am I understanding that right?
Yeah. As the project evolves, we might find new information, or we might learn new things that inform how we go about leading and managing and executing on that project. And through that process, we might end up needing to adjust some of those expectations. But it's very important that everyone agree on what those changes need to be, how that needs to happen, and who's going to handle what task along the way. So yes, as we learn more information, things change, but that project charter is still what we would be adjusting to make sure that we're all in alignment on what's going to be happening. And again, that project charter is so important to really make sure that, yes, we might be on the same page at that 40,000 foot level, but tactically how we're going to be leading, managing, and executing, so critical that we're all on the same page on what the detail is.
Yeah, absolutely. So in our latest chapter, we meet Doug, who is a stakeholder in this project. He's also VP of Sales at the company Galactic Gravity Inc. Doug is impatient about how
Yes.
long the project is taking, although we learned that the project manager has reported that it's right on time, according to the agreed upon timeline. How common is it for people to assume a DX initiative should be as quick and simple as installing a new app on your phone and pushing go?
Yeah. This is interesting because the project manager, Jared, had done a good job up till this point, setting expectations. The charter was built out with the milestones on what was going to be accomplished and when, and overall the project at this point is on track. But as we continue to find out, Doug is very impatient. He wants this implemented yesterday. His motivation and his why is that it's affecting his team, it's affecting his ability to deliver effectively and drive results. And he just continues to think that this is a lot simpler than it is.
Mm.
Overall, this is very common. It's a very common problem to have, even if the right information is being outlined in advance in terms of the project charter, communicated in the steering committee meetings. People still come with their different expectations.
Mm.
And This is a great example of why it is important to continue to communicate, continue to reiterate why certain things need to happen in the way they do, continue to outline and lay out the narrative on the story, and also make sure that everyone understands the value in the process, the proven process that needs to be
Mhm.
taken to drive results.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point. So, what are the two, I guess, in your opinion, the top two best practices for maintaining stakeholder alignment while working on these large scale DX projects, especially when faced with diverse opinions and priorities?
For sure. And there is that. I mean, there's always diverse opinions, diverse perspectives.
Mm.
And, steering committee meetings should have that healthy exchange of ideas. I mean, eh, people come from different backgrounds, perspectives, different points of view on their priorities in the company. And those meetings should be a healthy dialogue of differences of opinion. So, all very good dialogue that can happen and very good ways of kind of challenging each other to get to the outcomes that we need. So it's always good when there is disagreements and we can have productive
Mm.
discussion. With
Mhm.
that said, first and foremost, I already touched on it, need to have strong communication verbally, good productive meetings, but also it's a combination of all forms of communication. You need to have a strong project charter, strong status reports, strong communication to make sure that all bases are covered, everyone is aligned and on the same page and has the opportunity to sign off, because that also acts as a way to, again, make sure that everyone is part of the shared responsibility and accountability. So when
Mm.
changes do happen or things don't work out right, we can all look back at that trail of meetings or key documentation like the charter to say, hey, we all agreed based on what we knew at that time how we were going to proceed. Something worked, something didn't work. Now we are adjusting. So it holds everyone accountable. So having
Right.
strong communication, both verbally and having good dialogue in these meetings and a project charter, very important. The
Mm.
other thing that is really critical, it is to make sure that the project manager is able to uh, you know build trust with the stakeholders, and the stakeholders and steering committee members are really able to have trust in each other. Trust is such
Mm.
a critical foundation. There's a number of books out there about why trust is important and how that's the foundation. You can go look a lot of that information up. But again, having these healthy discussions, healthy dialogue, challenging each other is very important, and it all builds upon a strong foundation of trust. And that's what we're trying to drive here. And that's what we're seeing with Project Pulsar is there is trust. Maybe there are cracks in that foundation, but we're
Right.
still able to have healthy dialogue, healthy discussions, challenge each other, and also we see how they come through on the other end.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing your insights and some of these best practices and what happens in these steering committee meetings. To read the latest chapter in our scenario based series on digital transformation, you can click the link in the description below and subscribe on LinkedIn so you don't miss a single chapter. If you enjoyed this conversation and are interested in the intersection between business and technology, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you again next time. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Camilla.